Hello, YouTubers. Please help my goal of help me of 100 YouTube subscribers. Okay, so here we go. I will make this a little bit smaller. I think that's about right. Okay. Okay. One second. Okay, so the search for truth on the chessboard. Lies and hypocrisy did not last long upon the chessboard. Oh, what did he say? Wait a minute, I gotta start with this last quote before I start up here. Yeah, lies and hypocrisy do not survive long upon the chessboard. The creative combination lays bare the presumption of a lie. The merciless fact culminating in a checkmate contradicts the hypocrite. Okay, so let's begin. This is Journey to Expert or something like that. Let's start with warm up of some, let's cut up the coordinates. Warm up the old chess vision here. I start with white, and when it's warm up this little bit, we'll do some fast tactics, then we'll play. Okay, it's 34. Let's try to get at least 35. And that's a little bit better. Okay, let's try black. So, my average score is black is about 33. So, if I can't get at least 236 with black, I'll do an extra one. Let's go. That one cost me. Okay, that one cost me. I missed one and got stuck. Oh, 20. I have to do 2 more for blacks. Okay, 2 more blacks. Concentrate. And 30. Oh well. Black is horrible today. Okay, I don't like that one. Okay, so one more black. And was that any better? Okay, that was a little bit better. All right, we'll have to work on that. Let's play some puzzles. Some fast puzzles. Let's go for puzzle storm. And I play the white pieces in all puzzles. Okay, I like when I have white. Oh, that's a 4. Oh, that knight is pinned. What do you do? There we go. That's the fork there. Oh, this one's confusing. I'm in check. Okay, that takes care of that. Let's block the check. wasn't so nice. Trying to find the patterns. I'm starting to see it. Oh, free now. Okay, 30, 90.5. That's not bad. I'll try one more. Let's see what the failed puzzles are. And we ran out of time. That's considered failed puzzles. I guess I failed one, which is this one. No, I think this is one I ran out of time on. Looks like the queen wants to threaten something, but it can't threaten anything because it doesn't have any supporting pieces. How do I take advantage of that? Oh, yes, I can attack. Let's see, what can I attack? Oh, a queen fork. Well, that's a fancy queen fork. Look at that. Forks that one and that one. Okay, and that's free meat. Okay, so what's the other one? That one I ran out of time on. The one that I missed though is different. That one is this one. Yeah, this one I missed. Okay, what's the theme here? First off, this is a tricky move, but all it does is trade down. No, I don't have that tricky move. Don't have that tricky move. Oh yes, distraction. Distracting the king from defending the queen, or removing the defender. This move wins quickly. Now the queen's free. Okay. So let me try one more puzzle storm. Then rolling. Let's see. Okay. Play again. The white pieces, and let's begin. Pick up the 9 on c6. Pin the rook, pick up the knight, sets up a discovered attack, so we can't allow that. Oops. Okay. Sorry that I missed simply getting out of check. That was ridiculous. No excuse for that. Just take 2 rooks for the queen. That would be I didn't understand that one, but looked up. Okay, 2790.2. Did a little worse that time. Build puzzles, but I think I'm warmed up though. They're ready to play. Queen's not threatened. Okay, I win exchange. I'm winning a piece. Winning a piece here with a fork. If I don't win the bishop, I win the exchange. Probably wins a whole piece because this piece is going to be picked up because I'll have a Zwischenzook type threat on the back rank. So yeah. All right. Now I can play. Let's go to play. Quick pairing. Oh, I don't see anything. I'll try a rated game today. And I don't care if we get white or black. I'm going to set up a wooden board to help with the visualization so that I can see 3 dimensions instead of 2 dimensions. Okay. E4, E5. Person has a question mark by the rating, then I don't know how strong they are. They can be a grandmaster playing in disguise because they're killing everybody and they haven't stopped killing everybody. Therefore the question mark. Well, basically they haven't won 40 games yet. That's really what it means. I think it's 40 games. They have a question mark, so they're not really sure. So maybe they're winning and losing. Oh, I didn't like the hesitation before knight f3. That's a bad sign. Okay. You don't hesitate before knight f3. You know what you want to play. If you're this strong, you know what you want to play. So this hesitation I don't like. So I may be in trouble here. Oh, maybe not. Four nice game. Fine. E4, E5, knight f3, knight f6. Now I can understand hesitation on the third move because there's a lot of different ways to respond to the Petrov. Petrov is not normally what you see. Normally after E4 you're going to see C5. And if you play E5, then okay, maybe that's what it was. Hesitation on the second move could be that they were expecting the Sicilian, which most people play after E4. So f3, knight c6. Okay, the opponent left the game. You can claim victory in 95 seconds. This is very strange. Why would they leave the game? Usually that means they close the browser. Okay, good. Now expect a fork trick. Fork trick. Fork trick. White temporarily sacrificed the pawn for knight and gets it right back. Okay. Only reason I'm playing the increment is this is in my preparation, so yeah. My opponent left the game again. I claim victory on 11 seconds. What I think this means is not the opponent literally left the game, but they're leaving their browser. In other words, they're switching from the game and they're looking at something else. That's what it means. What else they're looking at, I don't know, besides the chess game. But we're in the opening, and the opponent keeps going to look for something else. Then they come up with a move. Strongest might have been f4, I'm not sure. So they're not literally leaving the game. Basically, they're just browsing away to look at something else during the game, which is okay. You can do that. Interesting. Okay, I'm thinking of bishop takes knight, check. Pawn takes. Followed by knight takes pawn. Queen to e2, queen to e7. Now, if his bishop's on c4, maybe he'd have some nastiness, but knowing my knowledge of patterns, I don't see any nastiness that he can come back with here. Oh, I do see some nastiness. His bishop can get onto the game at a3. So if I snap the pawn, his bishop can get into the game by a3 and stop me from castling. Very strange. Bishop takes c3 had to do it right. It's interesting. Okay. Okay, so what do we got here? Just smack that. Just smack that. No, there's tricky stuff happening here. Let's see. The rules are, if ever I can take, I should just do it. Of course, that stops me from castling. Oh. So now, if the pawn is pushed, I can do a trick. Yes. I castle. Thank you. I've got a trick with the pawn is pushed. So, because I was looking at bishop to a3, and sure, I could put the queen to e7 to keep the bishop on a3, but then after a4, he's threatening bishop to a3 again. So that's the way I see it. He's got the bishop pair. Black is an intact pawn structure, though. Come in knight d4, threatens fork for what it's worth. defend against the fork would be to defend that pawn. Yes, okay. Move the knight. I don't know. Move the knight. Yeah, I like that. Forward. Well, I don't know. Forward. Bishop d3, d5. Takes. There's no follow-up. Bishop takes h7. Called the Greek gift sacrifice doesn't work because there's no follow. There's no knight to follow up, and he's not castled, so that's not going to work for him. So the knight comes in. Yeah, so, okay. It was one of those automatic moves that people play. A players play that sort of automatically. The problem is, it's a well-known pattern, this position. Whereas, and it's not pretty for white. He's losing, I think he's losing exchange share. All kinds of nastiness. This was a pawn in the exchange share. So I think his move is just a blunder. Because I see this pattern again and again on chess.com, in the tactics trainer. This queen to h4, check. Problem is, after g3, knight takes g3, he doesn't have a knight to put on f3. In that case, if he had a knight to put on f3, it would only work if I had a pawn to take on g3. Then it still works even with a knight on f3. But here, without a knight on f3, I think he's just busted. King can't move, so he has to block it. So let's say g3, knight takes g3. He's got to move the rook, right? Where's he going to move the rook to? He's got to move the rook to g1. Then he's got a discovered attack. Knight comes back. king has to come up, and then the queen comes in f2 and finishes the job. Yeah, that's all I can say. Oh, the check with the bishop takes check just ignores that. King just scoots over. Because otherwise, if king takes bishop, if bishop takes h2 check, king takes bishop, then queen comes to d3 check, and then picks up the knight on g3. So bishop takes h2 check. The solution is for the king to just scoot over. However, bishop moving the bishop out of the way keeps white from being checkmated at least, and then he can save his rook, I guess. But after the complications are over, black can indeed take that bishop. So white's losing material as devastating material loss. He decides to go ahead and develop. I can take the rook, but there's no reason to take the rook, because I don't think he can stop checkmate now. So knight to e4 check. No, because then the king would just step over to knight to e4 check's no good, because the king just steps over to f1. Okay. And then I didn't get the material that I'm entitled to. Okay. And the bishop is blocking a checkmate on f2. But if I check by taking the rook, I don't see where his compensation lies. Knight takes rook check. Well, I don't know. Let's consider that carefully. No. If knight to e4 check, okay, here's the thing. Knight to e4 check, the king can't go to d2 because it's controlled by the knight. The king can go to f2 because it's controlled by the knight. The king cannot, white cannot go to d2, it's controlled by black's knight. White cannot go to f2 because that's controlled by the knight and the bishop. White cannot interpose the bishop on f2 because queen takes bishop checkmate. All white can do is go to f1 with the king. Now the queen comes in and says queen to h3 check. He has no interposition. Now he can go to either well, he can go back to the dark square if he wants. Then I can go to h4 again. Yeah, okay. Knight to e4 is check. If king to f1, the queen can check from h3. He dare not go to the dark square because then the queen picks up the bishop. Okay. So knight e4 check. If king to f1, queen to h3. Now if king goes to g1, which is a free square for him, queen takes bishop check. Okay, I still got my material. If instead he goes back to e1, queen takes bishop check. If he can't go to g2 because the queen's controlling that square. And if instead he goes to e2, knight takes c3 is a fork, queen and king fork. So I like knight e4. this comes, I cannot see this without a wooden board. So the three-dimensional visualization really helps. Of course, there's that. In which case, now I'm going to check. Okay. Usually I notice after a person loses, they don't say anything, so I would just say, good game, thank you. But this time he said, good game, well played. I appreciate that. Okay. That was a rated game, so I get a few points. Very good. So what helped me there is the tactics. Even though just knight takes rook would have just won, I've been a rook up. Because I had the physical three-dimensional board, I was able to visualize better. And I says, wait a minute. I know the game is won. So number one, if the game is won, because this knight takes rook simply would have won, then I don't have to worry about the clock. Okay? Even if I run the clock down to 3 minutes, with a 10-second increment, I can easily finish it with 3 minutes and 10 seconds by being a rook up, with no compensation on his part. So in that situation, I want to take the time to see if there's more. And in this case, there was more. Either he's checkmated or he loses the queen. Okay. Now with that stress out of the way, I think I will play. Let me see if there's any comments here in the chat. If somebody in the chat wants to play me a game, if you're under 1500, I'll give you a rook. Give you rook odds. Or I'll play you straight up, unrated game. One rated game is enough stress for me. Let's see. No, there's no one in chat. Okay. So that's fine. In that case, let's play an unrated game. I've got some rating points there. Let's see what happened here. I think basically White didn't know the opening. So all this pause in the opening just meant he didn't know what he was doing. B5, bishop C5, knight takes E5. Yeah, all this is still book. Knight takes E5, D4. You know, after D4, bishop D6. The number one move is F4, which I thought was coming, and that didn't happen. See what the engine says. Well, the engine likes castle. Okay, well, 50 games, 50 master games, that doesn't say much, so probably the engine's move is better, just castle. And so after this, let's see how we're looking. So it's even. And so I think F4 is what lost the game. I felt after F4, he's just losing a pawn without compensation. So, yeah, clear advantage if he plays it correctly from here on out. Okay, you play, grandmaster level chess from here on out. It's just a clear advantage for White. I consider +2 a lost game, basically. And now I could have just taken it. I suspect that I could have just taken it, but I don't like to go through highly tactical stuff because there's still this stuff, which maybe I shouldn't be afraid of. If maybe bishop goes there, I just well, here's the idea that I had. Because you look at the engine will tell you right away I'm crazy. After this is forced. This just opens things up too much. Weakens the light squares. Just because he likes to weaken his dark squares doesn't mean I want to weaken my light squares. So, okay. So I think this comes. Okay. Now you can play something like this. Which is crazy, right? So let's say I can't block it this way. Yeah, so I can't block it that way. But I missed this move. I can block it this way. That's what I didn't see. And in this case, the engine says, okay, white's got a slight advantage, but okay. What's a better move? The better move is just take the bishop. Yeah, this kind of chess I don't like. This is cutting edge stuff. And I don't really like this kind of chess. But it's strong, for sure. Yeah, well, maybe if I would have considered I can just retreat the queen back. I'll be fine. Another thing I was thinking about was basically, if he prepares this, I can just safely castle, actually. Or I can just snap this pawn. Probably I can even safely castle. Yeah, I can still safely castle. Because if he goes here to skewer my queen and rook, then nasty stuff happens. Then white loses in a similar fashion the way he lost. Bam. Except this time, I'm not just attacking the rook when I do this, I'm attacking the rook and the queen. So bishop here, knight takes queen, bishop takes queen, knight takes pawn here. Yeah, so bishop here, knight takes queen, bishop takes queen, knight takes pawn here. He's on the bishop's covered, but his pawn structure is going to be a wreck after that. And I can even get his Zwischenzug again. And this Zwischenzug would be, okay, let's see it. Let's say he comes here. So white's completely lost here. So whatever these complications are, I wouldn't have played this way anyway, but see what the engine has to say. Here. And then, oh, here. I was thinking of knight here, but this is the move. So white's got his bishop here, but he's completely lost. I guess because this file is opened and he doesn't have time to castle, does he? No, because now there's knight g6 and black consolidates. He's up 2 pawns. And he's up 3 pawns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's up 3 pawns, and that more than compensates for the fact that white has a bishop here and greater development and all this stuff like this. It's 3 pawns, it's 3 pawns. Okay, from the engine's perspective. From my perspective, I would just rather have a cleaner position. So that's it. So just knight here with the threat of winning the bishop. So this knight is like this pawn take is like his Zwischenzug, okay? And then he's up 3 pawns. And so instead of developing, he has to do some more stuff. He has to move the bishop or the king. And he can't just, let's say, castle the queen side. No, yeah, he can, fine. But he's still just losing because of the 3 pawns. Okay. So next time I won't be afraid if I'm in a similar pattern. In the actual game, though, after this, it's equal. Okay. So I threw the winning advantage away. Before this, well, not a winning advantage. I threw the clear advantage away. I had a clear advantage if I take the pawn, but I didn't want to do all that calculation. And I wasn't familiar with those kind of positions, so should have taken the pawn and went for the complications, which were in black's favor. After this, though, from an engine perspective, it's even. White may have a slight advantage. I call this 10 cents of a dollar. Or maybe it's even, depends on how deep the depth goes. Now it's just, well, black is slightly better. So the engine hasn't really decided. But I felt this position was tricky enough and that I can still get some kind of advantage out of it. Even though technically, I mean, from an engine perspective, it's even, pretty much. And yes, I chose this right, 94. Because this does 2 things. It threatens this queen and bishop fork, and also threatens queen to a h4. queen comes. Queen should go to f3 then, and then d5. Now I was thinking of queen to e2. I could just, yeah, of course I can just fork. I was thinking, how can he stop that fork? He can stop that fork by guarding this pawn and also guarding the third rank against queen. He can guard against this, being devastating, and guard against this pawn by coming here. I wasn't sure what would happen if this happened. I knew protecting the knight is the way to go, though. Bringing it here with the idea of after the queen moves, later coming back there, that's too slow. You should try to want to open things up in a position like this, and so you go there. And now if here, I saw that I can take with the dark squared bishop. No, I couldn't. All right. I couldn't take with the dark squared bishop. Okay. But if here, I can actually, yeah, I can actually take, no. Oh, I thought, so I visualized things wrong. I thought of here, I can just take with the dark squared bishop. And as you can see, after taking with the dark squared bishop, his queen can now take the knight because of c6. But I have no dark squared bishop. That's a hallucination. So I was pretty sure if this, I can just retake with the dark squared bishop, temporarily hanging the knight, because if the queen takes the knight, I can just play c6, and he has to give me the bishop back. Because if bishop moves, then rook over wins the queen. This is all assuming that I have a dark squared bishop to take back here. I didn't. Fortunately, black still has what I consider winning advantage, which is -2. So $2.20 for black. Now he has castle. So this is like best play from India's perspective. At depth 27. Let's see if we have enough cores going. Okay, 11 threads, put it that way. Okay. So I consider -2 a winning advantage based upon my experience with engine correspondence. That doesn't mean a human necessarily wins this position. It just means if my engine plays you in a correspondence tournament, I don't care how strong you are, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you in your engine. I don't care if you are deep. What is it called? If you were alpha 0, okay? If you're alpha 0, I'll still kill you in correspondence, engine correspondence in this position. That's my confidence. And I've entered the preliminaries of the World Championship, ICCF. So I think I know something about engine correspondence. Okay. So yeah, that's about it. So what happened in the actual game though? He didn't play after 94. He didn't go for that line. He went for, what did he actually do? What did he actually do here? Where's the actual game continuation? Okay, after 94, don't get me confused there. Okay, 94, yeah, he did play bishop d3. And my idea was bishop h7, the Greek gift doesn't really help because he's got no knight to follow up. You need the knight and the queen to follow that up. So here I was confident that he's lost, and I think I said that during the game. He played g3. After knight takes, it's -5.9. The best move is to just give up the exchange. You take the knight, I get the rook, and I could trade queens. I've got a pawn advantage plus the exchange, and you've got no compensation, period. But instead he tried to survive by stopping the checkmate here. The advantage increased, which is something I thought. And I played the right move. After this, I played the right move here. Now he cannot do what he did, obviously, because it loses the queen fork. He can't go here because that's actually made in two. I didn't see that during the game, but I just knew I was taking the bishop with check. Goes here, it's actually mate in 2. I can see it now. What's his mate in 6? Okay. I thought just, okay. It's still forced checkmate. I thought it was mate in 2 after that. During the game, I just said, I'm taking the bishop with check. We're done. I don't have to think about it. So the only really move he has is here, in which case I take the bishop with check, in which case he should just resign. After trading queens, the knight gets out here. Check, and then here, I think. Pretty much. Something like that. Anyway, so if the queen here, trade queens here. Yep, I was right about that. Here. And then here. Okay, I was right about that one too. Yay. So I guess the idea here then would be, the idea here would be, if bishop attacks the knight right away, I just pick up this pawn, and you're just silly, okay? If bishop tries to attack the knight right away here, I just pick up this pawn. However, if the bishop attacks the knight from this direction, okay, I still pick up the pawn and end up on e6. And if nothing happens, if he just develops, I think I can play b6 with a comfortable game. So let's say I play knight takes c3. King here, knight here. Now let's say the bishop doesn't attack the knight. In either case, bishop attacks the knight, I grab the pawn. If he comes here, I'm thinking b6. Let's see if the computer agrees with me. If he comes here, no, we still just take the pawn. Okay. I was thinking b6 because that falls to c4. Okay, that's bad. So just whatever happens, he takes the pawn. But let's say he doesn't attack it at all. If he gives me a tempo, like let's say he plays, what's the second best move? Let's put a second line here. Second best move would be, what's the second best move here? Okay. Maybe here. Maybe that's the second best move, guarding this pawn here. Now I think I can just play b6. Yes, and I'm still winning. I'm still winning like gangbusters. Now I have to be careful, because if he's, no I don't. If he plays here, I just move the knight. Okay, I just move the knight somewhere. Maybe the knight attacks the bishop. Bishop there, c6. Let's see, c4. Where does the knight go? Either one. It attacks the bishop, or it just goes to e7. e7 seems cleaner. Yeah, e7 is cleaner. So, yeah. I'm up a piece. Now bishop attacks here. I can block with the knight and accept the double pawns. Or I can just bring the rook over. I think this is cleaner. And then it continues. Okay. Should I play another game? Yeah, I think I'll play one more game. Anybody in the chat wants to play a game? If you're under 1500, I'll give you a rook. Or I'll play straight up, either one you want. Unrated. If anybody's there, there's 2 concurrent viewers. Anybody in chat wants to play? Speak now, or if you ever hold your peace, just say something in the chat, or you can challenge me to an unrated game. My username is Gitananda. Oh, if you're looking on YouTube, you don't know what my username is, or you forgot what my username was. It was visible a minute ago there. Here. There we go. Now you can challenge me on. Challenge me. I'll give. Okay. There we go. That's my chess username. You can challenge me. Give a rook if you're under 1500. If you're under 1600, between 15 and 1600, I'll give you a knight. Between 1600 and 1700, I'll give you the exchange, which means I take my queen rook off, you take your queen knight off, and we play. Okay. If that doesn't work, I'll do a unrated game. So if you're interested, say something in chat if you're going to challenge me. If not, I will go to see what's in the lobby. Casual, 2+1, 2+1, casual. And something at least 15 plus 10. 15 plus 10 unrated or something to make it interesting. Or maybe I just close it. Yeah, I mean, how about some slow puzzles? Yeah, I think I'll do some slow puzzles. I think perhaps one game is good enough for now because I don't see any preference in the chat. And so yeah, let's do some slow puzzles. So let's see my profile is. Okay, the top 5% now in classical. And rapid, look at rapid, it's only the top 9%. Okay. All right, so let's go to puzzles. Puzzle dashboard. We're gonna do 5 of them. Find the best move for black. Checks, captures, and threats. Who did I learn that from? Oh, I think I learned that from Eric Rosen, International Master. Checks, captures, and threats. Yeah. Oh, first off, okay, first off, his king is dangerously low in squares. If I can make him go to a light square, I can check him with F5. And I think I can do exactly that. Chase him to a light square, and I can check him with F5. Okay. Oh, he goes there. So F5 is not going to work. But now that he went there, he's in range of my knight, right? What does he do about a knight check? He gives up his queen. Oh, that wasn't the move. Okay, I've actually seen this one before. So this is, now I remember, I'm supposed to check one more time and then take the queen. They're actually giving me a chance to get rating on a puzzle that I've already failed. So that's fine. Yeah, so the idea is you check first here. Get my queen out of pre with check. Nice wishes, and then just capture the queen. So, okay. All right. Lost some rating points on that one. Oh, no, I'm replaying mixed puzzles. That's what it is. I'm replaying puzzles that I failed at before. Let's get some rated puzzles. Are we playing mixed puzzles now? Okay. Here's some rated puzzles. Okay, so the idea of this is knight takes knight is my idea. Well, first I look for checks. No checks, fine. I look for captures. I think knight takes knight wins. Why does it win? If the knight takes knight, first off, I think it wins because if he retakes my knight immediately, I just capture this bishop here. With or without this Wishen's So knight takes knight. If he takes back immediately, then this bishop is hanging. I just capture it. Okay? X-ray attack on that bishop. However, if he plays knight takes knight, if he plays queen takes queen, then rook takes rook. And here's the problem. He hasn't regained his material yet. So now if he regains the material, I take the bishop. However, if he, instead of regaining the material, after knight takes knight, queen takes queen, rook takes queen, if instead he does his wishes of himself, which is bishop takes, now his bishop is left the defense of the square. So now the knight saves itself by coming from here to e2 and says check. Wishes up. King moves out of check. Then you take back with the pawn here. And I'm temporarily piece up. I'm a piece up. He can't pin, and I've closed the e file, so he can't turn around and win the knight by bringing it to e1. So what he'd have to do to keep me from consolidating my advantage is to move his bishop somewhere. Because once that knight captures the bishop on c1, it's consolidated black's advantage of being a piece up. So where can the bishop go to make my to maybe keep my knight from coming out? Well, it can go to e3. So let's simplify the fact. The queen trades. The queen trades are necessary because then the knight can go to e2. Let's say knight takes knight. If queen takes, I take. If queen doesn't take, I'll still take his queen later on in the combination, and then check with the knight. So just knight takes. We know how he loses immediately if he takes back right away. Takes back right away. Queen takes first, and then rook takes queen, and then bishop takes bishop. But if he doesn't take back right away, he can play queen takes first, rook takes, and all these other same conditions remain. That basically he's got a bishop hanging, and he's neither save his bishop or recapture my knight. So that's a tricky way to do it. Fine. Okay, so now it's very tricky. The tricky way to do it is what he did. He moved his queen. Now what am I going to do? I think since I've gotten the loot, I can just retreat my knight back to d5, and I should be fine. And I've gotten 3 pieces of 2, and a bishop takes, pawn takes. There, success. Did I get any points here? Yes, I got a few points there. All right. Let's look at another one. That's one. About 5 of them, then I'll sign off. Two threats at once. I can threaten this pawn and also threaten to take the knight at the same time. So first off, threaten the pawn. If king takes my pawn, bishop takes knight right away. King takes bishop, king there. No, because any queen's quicker than I do. So I couldn't put my king on a square where the knight can't check me. Yes, that's a great move. So if I bring my queen to d3, the knight can't check me. It has to move because it's attacked twice. The knight's attacked twice. Okay. So it has to move. It has to move to the square where he can't check me. If it moves here and attacks this pawn, well, that pawn's already defended by the bishop, so that doesn't help him. Also, I just captured the knight with my king. So where could he move? He'd have to move somewhere. Pushing this pawn doesn't help him. Just bishop takes knight, and the bishop's ready to retreat and take the pawn if it goes to a7. If he moves to safe square, let's say here or here, somewhere where he can keep an eye on this advancing pawn, then I can just push. I can just push with my I can push the pawn there. Having pushed the pawn there, he'd have to move his king another time. King to f3. Because if he doesn't, I can push the pawn on the knight. You see. So let's say the knight comes here. If he doesn't move king to f3, let's say he does something like move his pawn there, I can push the pawn from here to here. And that's threatening the knight, and it's also threatening the queen. The knight has no way it can attack e1, which is a promotion square. I think that's it. But it's wrong. Okay. So let's see. Let me view the solution because I spent too much time with that. Okay, check. Okay, that's the simple way. Moves the king away, and then you just capture the knight for free. Okay, good. I justifiably lost some points, but at least I did the best I could trying to figure it out. So let's see. If my move is, my move doesn't do anything. It's still leaving after my move. Knight goes there. I was thinking I could just push now. I saw all this, but I was just wondering why I can't just keep doing this. Oh, because the knight check. Knight check. No, that's not a knight check. The king gets behind it. Okay, so this is way beyond my level now. So that goes here. Yeah, it's way beyond my level. That's why I missed that. Okay. All right. No problem. But this wasn't beyond my level. This is just simplicity. Just distract the king away from the defense of the knight, and you take. Okay. All right. Next puzzle. I think I can distract the queen away from the defense of the bishop. No, I can distract the queen away from the defense of the rook. Not with the pawn, though. If I push the pawn, queen takes h3 is checkmate. So. How does it respond to a check, though? Well, I have an interference move, though. Queen check, doesn't do anything. Bishop interposes. What is this normal or harder? This is normal. Interesting. I'm at a loss with. Oh, yes, I can attack. I can attack something a second time. Checks, captures. How about a threat? Yes, and this time I was right. Now this is simply removing the defender. Rook takes, queen takes bishop. Okay then. All right. Got some of those points back. 1, 2, 3, 7. Okay, let's continue training. So first off, queen takes pawn is queen takes g7 is a Latin threat in the position, and it would definitely happen if it weren't for the fact that it would definitely happen if it weren't for the fact that the queen is currently pinned against the king. However, there's a free check there. He has a free check with the knight. Or he could play knight c5 immediately, and that's threatening checkmate. However, the defense is pretty simple. F6 defends against the checkmate. Oh, yes. Okay, here we go. Knight to f6 is check. There's only one legal move. The king must move to h8. Then queen takes bishop. Knight takes bishop, excuse me. Knight on f6 takes bishop on d5. Now, I've just captured his piece. And he must take my piece back. Right, rook takes. Yeah, knight takes bishop. Knight takes bishop. So knight takes bishop like his wishes are. He can't capture my queen immediately after knight takes bishop, because then knight takes queen, and I won a piece. I have 2 rooks and a knight against 2 rooks. And he can't play queen takes bishop because there's a rook on d1. Also, if he plays queen takes bishop, just forget the rook on d1, just queen takes g7 checkmate. So knight f6 check, one legal move, king h8. Knight takes bishop on d5. He can't retake. How does he retake the bishop? That's the problem. I'm stealing the bishop. Knight f6 check, king h8, knight takes d5. I stole a bishop. As amazing as that may seem, because he can't play pawn takes. Well, he can play pawn takes bishop, pawn takes knight. Yeah, okay. So I stole a pawn, really. And then I can just play rook. Then I can just play rook takes. Yeah, I can play rook takes bishop. Oh, that's it. Okay. If knight f6 check, king to h8, knight takes bishop. He's got pawn takes bishop. Oh, knight f6. Knight f6 check may not even be the move. Ah. How do I respond to pawn takes bishop? Can I punish him for that? No, I can't. My queen is still pinned. I could play rook takes pawn. That doesn't do anything. Oh, check. Oh, what am I doing? Rook takes pawn on g7 is check, and there's nothing he can do about that. Rook takes g7 check. Consider all checks. King must go to h8. Rook to g8, double check. Okay? King must come to g8. And the other rook comes over and says check. And that is checkmate, because there's no way to block it. Yeah, that's a nice one. Double check. This bishop comes over and checkmate. That's a beautiful one. My gosh. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Let's continue. So a couple more. I guess I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I've done 3 unrated ones, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rated ones, okay? I'll do 2 more. First off, if the pawn comes down and promotes to even a rook or a queen, it's devastating, because then I have to play knight takes get out of check, rook comes down, rook to c1, rook takes rook check, rook to d1, rook takes rook checkmate. First thing to consider, do I have any good checks here? Also, we're considering this is attacked twice. It's defended only one time. That's worth considering, but this is a real problem here. Queen to g6 is no good that I can see, because then after rook to g7, he's got 3 threats. He's threatening rook takes g6, and he's threatening b1, queen check. Yeah, leads to checkmate. Of course, if he queens, I can always block that with the knight on d1. I have to take it. Only that I can block with the knight on d1, that frees things up, doesn't it? I can play rook takes pawn. Oh yes, I could just play rook takes pawn, give up my rook for that pawn, and then take rook takes bishop, and his rook is pinned, and I'm threatening mate in 2. Now it gets interesting. He has no good checks. His rook is pinned. He has to defend his rook. The only way I can see he defend his rook is to go bring his queen to f8 at that point. Queen to f8. Then I push my rook down to e8. Winning queen for rook. Then his rook can go to c2, attacking the knight and threatening mate in 2 at the same time. But I can just make luft at that point. He can take the knight, and I take his queen. Or I can take the queen first. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I think I'll take that first. Yeah, I was right. What a great move. Okay. How did he defend that rook? Just as I thought. That's great. That's a really great combination. Okay, good. Is that 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I'll play one more. And one more. Then I'll sign off unless somebody in the chat wants to play. If you do, you'll see my username in the chat. Right now, since so much time has elapsed, let's see. I'll play 10 plus 5 or 15 plus 10. That's fine. Let's see. I lost the chat thing. Yeah, the pop-out chat, I lost it, so I can't see what's in chat. Okay, one more tactic now. Then I'll sign off unless somebody in chat wants to play a 15 plus 10 or 10 plus 5 game. Okay, the challenge link is in chat. Okay. One more. Now what do we got here? I think it's the opposition. I push that pawn. So, first thing, black to move. I push c4, and he has two reasonable moves. He can play his pawn to c5, in which case my king goes to b4. His king at that point will have to go to c2, protecting it. Then my king can swipe the pawn on a5, that is. Okay, so basically king to b4 is a fork. I do the fork right away because simply pawn takes pawn wins for him. So that's what happens if I go f5 and he plays f4. Now I just play king to b4. That's king fork, and that should win for me. If instead he keeps my king from coming in after f5, if his king comes to f6 to keep me from coming in, then I can play f4. The most aggressive thing he can do then is to push my king out with king to with b4 check. My king scoots over. His king my king scoots over to d5. His king goes to d3. Then my king just picks up the pawn on e5. Okay, I'm getting tired because I guess. So yeah, this I think is a move. Now here, king fork. That's an interesting move. Oh, so which do I take? I take this pawn because this pawn creates a passed pawn. He can't do anything about it. He can go chase a6. But let's see here. His king comes here. Then my king comes here. Then his king comes here. Then 5. His king eats. Then 6. His king gets out of the way. Then 7. His king pushes to a6. Then queen check. So that wins. It's into that. So how many points did I get? I got 9 points. Okay. So I had a good day today. See my puzzles are now 2347. And okay, that's about it. Unless there's a last minute challenge from the I got a couple of viewers apparently. You're under 1500, I'll give you odds of a rook. You're under 1600, I'll give you a knight. If you're under 1700, I'll give you the exchange odds. All the odds comes off the queen side. I get white. And the chat says I didn't get any challenges, so that's fine. Hope you enjoyed the stream. This was Journey to Chess Expert, the search for truth on the chessboard. Please subscribe. Help me get to 100 YouTube viewers. That's my immediate goal. 100 YouTube subscribers, excuse me. That's my immediate goal. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And so I'll sign off with the motto. This is a Journey to Chess Expert. And the search for truth on the checkered field of battle. And the chessboard lies in hypocrisy do not survive long. The creative combination lays bare the presumption of a lie. The merciless fact culminating in a checkmate contradicts the hypocrite. Thank you. I was able to play some true chess today. Not perfect, but good enough. Journey Chess Expert, please join me for our next stream by subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Please like and comment.